What is up, everyone? Welcome to the How to Vegan podcast. I will be the host of this podcast. My name is Kristen Emily, and I'm so happy you're tuning in because this is my very first podcast episode ever. I have a YouTube channel. I run a Facebook group with over 70,000 members. It's also called How to Vegan, by the way. But podcasting is a little new venture for me, and although I'm a little nervous about it, a lot nervous about it, but who isn't when they're starting something new, I'm really stoked about it. I'm excited to connect with even more awesome humans this way. So welcome and thank you for being here. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, which if this is your first time listening to the first episode, then this is probably your first time listening to this podcast. Once you're all done listening, if you like what you hear, then make sure to go subscribe and leave a nice little review and rating in iTunes. That really helps to push the podcast up and make it more visible so more people see it, which is ultimately the goal. I am here to spread that vegan love as far and wide as possible. So go leave a review and a rating. That would be awesome. Thank you guys. So since this is the first episode, I just wanted to talk a little bit about who I am, why I'm starting this podcast, who this podcast is for, and what to expect in the upcoming episodes. So like I said, my name is Kristen. I go by Kristen Emily on the interwebs. I'm a certified vegan health coach. I've been vegan for almost 6 years. By the time this podcast is released, it will have been 6 years. And veganism is pretty much everything to me. I'm going to definitely be diving deeper into my own vegan story in the next episode, so make sure to check that out. But yeah, veganism is my life. I'm a huge animal lover, like huge animal lover. I always have been. So that's really what drives my passion and just love for all of this behind, everything behind this whole vegan movement. That's really what drives me. I just cannot stand to see any animal suffer, especially for no reason at all. So yeah, that's pretty much why I'm vegan, why I went vegan. But the amazing health benefits as well as the environmental benefits are just as amazing as well. So don't get me wrong, there are huge reasons for my veganism, but I 100% went vegan for the animals. That being said, I love helping people find their best self through the vegan life. So I do one-on-one coaching, I run a Facebook group, I have a YouTube channel, like I said, and a blog, and an Instagram, and Twitter, and all of those things. I pretty much just try to find ways to spread the vegan message in any way that I can. So just a little bit about me. Again, I'm gonna go into this more in the next episode, but in case you're just wondering, like, who is this person talking to me right now and why should I be listening to her? I'm just gonna give you a little bit of a background. So I live in Idaho. I've lived here my entire life, actually. My parents are from the Chicago area, but they moved to Idaho before they had me, so I've spent my entire life in this beautiful state. And if you've never been here, then you're seriously missing out. It is gorgeous, like gorgeous. Look up pictures of like the Sawtooth Mountains in Idaho. It's gorgeous. I have a degree in teaching as well as history from Boise State University. I taught for a hot minute, but I decided it really wasn't for me. I worked in the service industry for almost 15 years. I was a server, I was an assistant manager at a restaurant, I was a bar manager, all that stuff. I really liked it, a lot actually, but it got to the point where I just couldn't serve meat to people anymore, and I didn't feel morally right about doing it. And right around that time, I found out about the Institute for Integrative Nutrition by the wonderful Chris Carr. I got like an email in my inbox about it from her. I looked into the school and I immediately enrolled. I also quit my bar management position and I got a job at an awesome little vegan vegetarian restaurant / cafe that unfortunately no longer exists. But it was a great way to transition out of serving dead animal flesh to people that I truly care about in the community. So that was awesome. That was a good next step. And then about a year after that, I started working, and then about a year after I started working at that job, I graduated from IIN and started my own business as a health coach. So that's a little bit of background about who I am. And again, I'm going to go into this in more detail next episode, so tune into that if you want to know more about my vegan story and how I got to where I am today. But that's just a little bit of background for those of you listening to this first podcast and wanting to know. So who is this podcast for? Well, this podcast is really for anyone interested in veganism in any sort of capacity at all. If you're already vegan, then awesome. You'll still find lots of reasons to be here. If anything, you'll have even more info to share with your family and friends, and you never know, you might just learn something new. I learn something new every damn day. Plus, I promise to make this really, really fun. I already have some super awesome guests lined up, and it's gonna be a ton of fun. So you definitely don't wanna miss out on those episodes for sure. They're gonna be a blast. And if you're not vegan, then yay, welcome to the How to Vegan podcast. I'm super stoked you're listening. This is a perfect place for you to learn about all things vegan. We'll be talking about the ethical implications of going vegan, as well as all of the health and environmental reasons to go and stay vegan as well. There's going to be a lot of variety as far as the topics go, but we will be talking about a lot of awesome stuff. So kind of varied and kind of, you know, all over the place as far as topics and such goes, but it's going to be a lot of awesome stuff. I have like 30 episodes already planned out, so tune in. I got some awesome stuff planned for this podcast. So what exactly should you be expecting to hear on the How to Vegan podcast? Well, like I said, we'll be diving into all of the many reasons to go vegan. There will be lots of practical tips for those wanting to go and stay vegan. We'll be talking a lot about conscious and ethical consumerism, but there will also be episodes focused on how to talk to your friends and family about being vegan, dating as a vegan, dining out as a vegan, and we'll be approaching veganism in a very holistic way. So there will also be episodes centered around other health and wellness topics like meditation, yoga, relationships. There will always be some sort of tie to veganism in there somehow, but it's going to be a very holistic approach to veganism. So yeah, keep that in mind as you're listening to these episodes. Lost my spot in the thing. Okay, and I am a vegan health coach, so we will talk a lot about healthy and affordable ways to make veganism a part of your life. So pretty much anything goes here. I'm super open and really ready to talk about anything you guys are interested and want to hear about. So if you ever have an idea for an episode, make sure to subscribe to the How to Vegan podcast YouTube channel, where I'll be uploading the unedited video versions of these podcasts. So with all of my mistakes and and weird coughs and all of those things that happen behind the scenes of the podcast, they're going to be unedited up on my How to Vegan podcast YouTube channel. So go check that out because it should be pretty entertaining. And make sure to leave a comment on one of the videos on that YouTube channel for me. I will definitely see it, and I will definitely make sure I respond to every single one of them. A link to that YouTube channel and everything else I've mentioned in the show so far will be in the episode show notes for sure. Okay, so I think that was everything I wanted to chat about in the first episode of the How to Vegan podcast. I truly, seriously cannot wait to get started. I really, truly cannot wait to start getting into the good stuff. So thanks again for tuning in. If you're stoked on this podcast and for what's to come, then remember to please go and leave an awesome review and an awesome rating in iTunes. It really, 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 really helps out a lot. So thank you if you do that. You guys are amazing. The more people that see the podcast, the more people are inspired to go vegan, and the happier our little planet gets. And if you're not a part of my How to Vegan Facebook group yet, then make sure to go join. We are always having a blast in there. It's seriously so much fun. Like I said, there are over 70,000 members in there currently, growing quickly, and it is just a blast. I mean, it is such a great forum and a place to share recipes and ask for recipes and tips and all of that jazz. So go check that out if you're not a member yet. And again, links for all of this stuff will be in this episode's show notes, so check those for sure. So yeah, that's about it for episode 1. Make sure to tune into episode number 2 because I will definitely be diving really deep into my vegan story and all of that stuff that I mentioned before. So click on episode number 2 after you get done listening to this one and you'll just know even more about me. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I will catch you in the next episode. Peace out.